Thought for the day. Life is tough, but so are you.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we take a look at the benefits of adding journaling to our self-care routine. Have a listen.
When you're developing some sort of a new habit, it can help to stop yourself before you feel like you're done. So what I mean by that is, for example, when you start meditating, maybe you feel like you could meditate for 5 minutes, but stop yourself at 3 minutes so that you're kind of left wanting for more, you know? You don't completely use up all of that initial enthusiasm and you save some of it up for the next day. So similarly, if you've just started a journaling habit, try to stop before you feel like you've gotten all of your thoughts out. This might feel kind of counterintuitive, but that way you'll have a loose thread to pick back up on the next time that you journal, and you'll feel more excited to start writing the next day because you didn't quite finish the day before. You also don't need to record everything in your journal. So my biggest stumbling block when I tried to start journaling when I was younger was that I tried to write a minute-by-minute narration of all of my daily actions and feelings. It just started to feel like a chore. I started to hate it so much because I felt like if I missed anything, I was failing at journaling. Somehow I was just losing all of these memories that actually were super boring anyways. So what I've learned now after many years of journaling is that if you don't feel like writing about an event, don't. There are probably big events that I have hardly written about in my journals because I just didn't feel like writing about them, and that's okay. I didn't feel the need to relive them or to process them, and so I didn't need to write about them. Because I didn't force myself to do that, because I only wrote what I actually wanted to write about, I was able to make journaling a habit. I feel like another common thing that trips people up when they first start journaling is that they feel like they're doing it wrong if they're not writing like super deep, insightful, straight from the soul, emotional, raw passages. You're not writing a book here. No one's gonna quote your journal. This is purely just for you. I think journaling is kind of like a muscle, just like meditation. So the more you do it, the better at it you become. But also in meditation, the goal isn't really to attain a perfectly clear mind. Likewise, it's not the goal with journaling to always be writing really insightful stuff. It's the process that matters. So in the beginning, if you're just starting out, like try just writing a couple of sentences about what you did that day, just to build that habit and to kind of become more aware of what you're doing and what your thoughts are. And then deeper, more introspective writing will come naturally if you give yourself the time and you give yourself the practice. So then after you've laid the foundations of the habit, let's move on to extra credit, advanced options for you overachievers out there. This really isn't that advanced, but I think another fun thing to do in your journaling is to add some structure to it. So personally, in my journal, I like to make a lot of lists. I'll tell you about my lists and then you can tailor them to your preferences. So in the morning, I like to write down 3 things that I'm excited for that day. Today I was excited to film this video and put together some beautiful content for my blog, listen to a podcast during breakfast, and go to a dance class with my mom in the evening. And then when I'm journaling before bed, I write down 3 things that I accomplished that day, 3 wins. For example, yesterday I wrote that I went on an outdoor run in the rain, mind you. I took care of this accounting spreadsheet that was a big, hairy task that I was putting off for a long time, and I ate healthfully. Finally, I make a list of 3 things I was grateful for. Yesterday, my new Kindle arrived. I had some exciting opportunities in my email, and a friend sent me a funny meme. So as you can see, even if yesterday was stressful in some ways, and it was, by focusing on all of the good things that happen, I'm almost like editing the snapshot of the day that I have in my brain to be a positive one. And I just think it's a really nice way to start the day and end the day. You can also have some sort of a daily question that you answer based on whatever it is that you're working on in your life at the moment. So for me this month, I was focusing on feeling better and working on my mental health and trying to achieve that by making small, good decisions that gave me momentum but also didn't make me feel overwhelmed. So I already put away my journal, but I forgot I need to do this part. Each morning, I have been writing what are 3 good decisions that I can make today, and then before I go to bed, I review that list and I check off everything that I actually did. So today, this morning, I wrote, I can wash the dishes and start the laundry, meditate after lunch, and work on reading our book club book. So maybe you decide to do a self-care focused month, and every morning you write, what is something that I can do for myself today? Maybe you want to focus on some specific relationship in your life, so you start each day by writing, what is one thing I can do today to improve my relationship with this person? Send them an encouraging message, make a meal for them, schedule a call with them. You might find it helpful to separate a daily journal from more of like a deep thinking journal. So I did this because I have my daily journal for mornings and evenings and my daily questions, and this journal is quite frankly filled with lots of repetitive, mundane rambling because that's just what my everyday life is like, okay? So I wanted to create this separate special journal that is for special journaling occasions only. I started this after a couple of therapy sessions, and I decided that I wanted a dedicated place where I could write more in depth about the stuff that I discussed with my therapist. I also think a journal like this could be a good place to write in if you have some big decision to make. I don't have any to make at the moment, but it could do that. So just like how we talked about a fancy notebook can encourage you to sit down and journal, I think that if you have a separate notebook for those deeper thoughts, that it can inspire you to think deeper when you're writing in it.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.